It's like, because you're always clipping the amp.
Put those in
Turn it down.
And then when he made the post, and a bunch of people were like, yeah, my SFP amp's the same way. It's always clipping.
Where do you want me to sit?
One of those second chairs.
Okay, it doesn't matter which
Yeah,
one.
Jake usually sits there.
Okay, I'll sit here then.
Yeah, it's just like, dudes, if you don't want your amp to clip, turn it down and stop clipping it.
Midwest SBL, louder than ever, bringing you the fire. It's DJ Rusticles.
Boom.
Right.
Yep. Red light. I'm talking to the red light.
Test.
Maybe you know, Derek, you have your headphones.
Test.
I figured there'd be more people on it. Yeah, it's just a song.
I'll put these on until it starts because the music's really...
It's already started.
I'll say the music's distracting, isn't
The music is distracting you. Well, the music's over with. We're done. Everything is done.
Sundown After Dark with your host Brian Chamberlain, presented by Sundown Audio.
Now you can. I have it on a different setup. And the music's almost over. And here we are. Sundown After Dark, episode 32. I think it's episode 32.
35.
35. You know what? 35 is going to be a special one. Anyway, so we are live today. And if you have questions, feel free to ask. Any technical questions about things coming out. Don't ask us when you're going to get your shit because we don't know. We're all backed up. Derek will tell you all about that. I really wanted to use this live episode to kind of say a big thank you to a lot of the people that supported us during the time that we were down to help us rebuild the new studio. This is the third episode in this particular studio. So, big thank you. And I've got all the names and everything that they have helped support us. So let's go ahead and go through those names, and we can talk about them as time goes on. So, the first and foremost, we got Audio Apex. That would be the Munsons. So, Audio Apex donated, I'm not going to give you the price amount, but they donated a nice chunk, and that money went towards a couple new microphones, some new sound equipment, like the amplifiers, the headphone amplifiers we got in here. Also went towards a bunch of cables and just a bunch of odd junk that I needed to kind of finish up this table. So thank you to Audio Apex. And again, if you want to watch the show, we had a show with Audio Apex, the Munsons, 2 episodes ago. So go check that out. They're really good folks over there. They took over Cardio Bargain, and they also brought on their own name. And they got B stock, A stock, and a bunch of cool stuff. So that's Audio Apex. Then we got SPL Audio, which is Corey Dean. So big thank you to Corey Dean.
Corey Dean.
He is one of our refurb guys. I think I need to turn my gain up a little.
We need more gain.
All knobs to the right.
I want to be clipping. So yeah, big thank you to Corey Dean from SPL Audio. He's one of our Recon guys that we allow to use our parts. There's only a handful of people in the industry that we sell our parts to rebuild subwoofers, whether it's a Sundown woofer or something else. And we only authorize trusted people. And Corey Dean's been doing it for a long time, so check out SPL Audio. Dean,
I think he started buying parts from me in like 2008.
yeah, he started before I started working for you. It's been a long time. So that's SPL Audio Dean, Corey Dean for short. Then we got Vex Productions, so Andy Moonasser from Vex Pro. Andy's been
It's not Moonasser.
I say Moonasser.
Moonasser.
I see Moonasser, and I will always see Moonasser. I like the ass.
Moonasser's way better.
Yeah. So Andy is also a big supporter of the show. Some of his money went towards just some random stuff we had in this room. Same thing with Corey Dean. So, hi Wednesday. So yeah, that's Vex Pro. He's a dealer. He's actually a distributor of ours up in the New York City area. He handles that whole metropolitan area. We had a show with him. I think he was our second pilot when we first started the
he was
show.
pretty early.
Yeah, early on. So go ahead and check him out. He also handles the distribution to Trinidad. So that would be Vex Productions, or Vex Pro for short. Then we got Mega Sound, Saeed. So Mega Sound is in Nashville, Tennessee. We
just visited him recently.
Yeah, Jake and I just went and visited him when we were out in Knoxville. It was only a couple more hours to get to Nashville. So Saeed, really good guy out there. You see these new chairs that everybody's sitting in here? Let's go ahead and go to that view. These brand new chairs, that would be from Saeed from Mega Sound. Thank you very much.
These bad boys.
Mega Sound is one of our biggest dealers, and they're in the middle of Nashville. If you are in Nashville or that side of Tennessee, go ahead and check him out. He's got a ton of product. He carries a lot of product in his building to make sure he's got what you need at all times. He also has a lot of boxes. Remember that, Jake?
Oh, that was crazy.
He's got his whole upstairs part is just full of boxes, ready for trucks and cars and all sorts of stuff.
I'm going to share this to our Sundown Facebook and try to get more people in here.
Cool. Thank you, sir. Also, so that's Mega Sound. Thank you very much, Saeed. Then we got DJ Rusticles, Chris Russ. He's a guy that does the sound for the show, the music.
How do you share it?
You gotta go on YouTube and hit share.
I'm on YouTube. Where do I go to share?
I don't know. Just type in Sundown After Dark on YouTube.
I literally have the video up. I just don't know how to share the video from here.
There's a little arrow, a little curvy arrow. Anyway, DJ Rusticles. If you go to DJRusticles.com, you can use promo code After Dark, get you a little discount on some of his music. He does all the rebase stuff. It's very clean, unclipped music, so go ahead and check him out. Thank you, Chris, for your support. Then we got 252 Customs. That would be Ryan Maxey and Justin Haddock. They came together along with Kyle Rutherford and Kyle's family, which is Basehead Tees, Straight Clipping, DVS Designs, whatever you want to call them. They got 50 names. They all do the same thing. Basehead Tees. So 252 Customs and Basehead Tees, they came together and got this new big TV we got mounted on the wall that you can't see on your camera. But thank you to them. We got a big TV in here. That way the people that sit here at this table can see what's going on my screens.
Hey, Patrick's watching, and he was just here.
Yeah, you see, we have some questions I was going to get to whenever you were done there.
Sweet. Yeah, keep them questions. And also, I got super chats on. If you want to help support this
Thank
channel.
you, Steven.
We got super chats on. Super chats gives us a little extra, gives us some beer money, and it highlights your questions so we can answer it faster. Then we got Charles Haley. He's one of our SQ guys. Charles, thank you to because of you, I was able to get a couple things here. We got Patrick Camera, who's watching now. Patrick was just here a few hours ago, putting in this timer. It's a timer switch for our exhaust fans, so that way we remember to turn it, or it turns off itself. Because there's a lot of smoking in here. We have an exhaust fan. And then we got Kendra Holly. And Kendra does the breast cancer awareness builds. He's our like number one fan, Kendra Holly. He's got the pink woofers, some SA woofers. I wish I took pictures of those. Anyway, SA version 2 12s with 18-inch motors we did for him. And we painted the frames and everything pink for him. So, yeah, that's everybody. That's the big supporters of this show. I thank you all very much. Without you, I wasn't able to get anything done to get things rolling in this room. Anyway,
We have some questions from
We have some
Dwayne The Rock
questions.
Johnson.
let's do the questions.
Can you go up to see Dwayne a little bit? He was the first one I saw.
Let's see here.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
There we go, Dwayne.
Your hat's on the camera there, Brandon. Says, what about Donnie's new build video, Brian?
All right, so there are four episodes. It's a 5-part series. I edited 4 videos, got them out. The 5th part, which is the final, has not been edited yet, but his build is done. Yeah. Donnie, how do you like your system? Let's talk about that. What do you have? Tell us about your system.
Yep, I have the SFB 5 channel and a single SA12 version 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the SD 5 1/4 mids, my doors, which we don't make anymore.
Right, SA 5 1/4.
Oh, the SA 5 1/4.
Yep.
I might. I guess I can switch those out for the E's.
That, or we
guess.
can build some pods and do some 6 1/2s. I really think you need 6 1/2s because you're really slinging the hell out of those 5 1/4s right now.
Yeah, I know they're kind of pushed to the limit. And then I have our new 6x9s as well.
Yep, the SA V2 6x9s.
Yep.
Sexy.
Yep.
Now
That's
you
really cool.
you generally listen to rock music most of the time,
Yeah.
and so that's a nice punchy system.
I actually have a funny story about. I don't know if it was on, because there was one episode we kind of did, but it was thrown away, I think, where I was like, I don't listen to a lot of rap, but for the Sundown show, I have 2 rap albums. That's it. I have 2, and I have Wu-Tang Clan 36 Deadly Chambers, and I was like, this is gonna beat, man. This is gonna be awesome. Was not awesome.
Right? It's just a wrong frequency range.
Yeah, but then I have a Kid Cudi album, and that thing sold. It was awesome. That's where it's at.
What's up, Wednesday? We got a couple other questions in here.
All right, what do we got?
Well, just a comment. Kinzen says Munasar is a West Indian name. Yes, Andy's family is from Trinidad originally. Let's see. Salt 500.4 sexy. I just put up pictures and dynos on Sundown's page and its own album, so everybody can check that out.
Yeah.
King Travis Salt 12 in stock. It is not at this time.
No salt ants in stock.
Not at all. I do have more. I'm going to start production of all 4 monos and all 6 new multi-channels probably next week. And
Salt series.
Yeah, they'll be coming in stock early next year.
When we place an order for salts, about how long does it take for us to get them from Korea?
That's a question that's hard to answer right now. The first run of salts
Right.
took over 6 months, which should
Ugh.
never happen. The second run is probably going to be like 4 to 5 months, which also shouldn't happen. So I don't want to make any promises.
Right. So we put the order and we basically say this is about the time it should be here, and we're hoping obviously it'll be earlier. It generally doesn't work out that way. It usually comes when we say.
Yeah,
or,
stuff
or
used
later.
to come in 3 months, and now it's like 4 is considered on time now. If it goes beyond 4, then it's late. But
Yeah.
it's hard to say because there's a lot of part shortages and things like that going on.
Yep. And the whole industry, not just it's ridiculous, man. It's like all over the place.
That guy's name is Can't Afford JL Audio.
So,
but can you afford Sundown?
What,
You know, that's usually the case. A lot of people.
Wednesday wants to know about the tweeters. Actually, we have several prototypes of like cost-effective pro tweeters.
Yeah.
And We're trying to work on the cosmetics and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, Jake's not doing that big custom one he was talking about before.
Yeah,
I
at
think he
least
scrapped that.
not yet. Like I do want to make it eventually. I think guys that have bigger setups are going to want it still,
Yeah.
and it's also a lot higher fidelity than the smaller stuff. So we are working on it. If I had to guess, like we might be able to get them out by early next year as well.
Gotcha. 5-channel amps for the SFBs. I thought they were coming a little bit sooner.
No,
So-
that's I believe the next production run
And
after this one.
that's the amp that you're going to see we install in Donnie's car whenever I do that. And watch that flame, Donnie. You're going to mess up that thing there.
Again.
Yeah. In Donnie's build, you'll see whenever I get done editing that video, we use the 5-channel amp. It's the SFB 1800.5. That's 200 watts per channel on the 4-channel side and 1,000 watts at 1 ohm on the 5th channel. That 200 watts, Jake, per channel, that's at 1 ohm, isn't it?
On the 4-channel, the 5-channel,
The
that's
5
actually
channel.
at 4 ohms.
That's at 4 ohms.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's why you're slinging the hell out of those damn 5 1/4s in that car.
Yeah,
We
with the 5-channel, I figured it was going to.
We get guys, Donnie, some Neo Pros.
I figured the 5-channel, most people would be 4 corners in a sub rather than like multiple drivers, so that's why I did it that way.
Yeah, that's why you're.
Would that be fairly easy to do? We just like
We're gonna have to build
shave
pods.
out. Okay.
You gotta
You
cut
want
it
Vex
out.
10s in there.
Yeah,
Do it.
there you go.
So we
It'd
got.
be worth it.
I see Marshall Joyner's in here. He says kissy kissy. What's up, man?
Yep.
Speakers, coaxes, and all that. My best estimate is probably October for that stuff.
Yeah. What is coming? We have E-series coaxials and stuff
Yeah,
coming.
E-series 5 1/4, 6.5 coaxes. I have more SA 6.5 coaxes.
And that is a new speaker. We have not come
Yep,
out with the E-series yet.
And that's a polycone rubber surround metal tweeter with a sealed stock on it, so they're weather resistant. I'm not going to call them waterproof, but they're weather resistant. Then more SA coaxes, more SA components, more 2.75s,
Mhm.
and on also more. Like the next version, Nightshade, will probably be coming in sometime a little bit after that. as well.
Gotcha. Nate, you asked if the 5-channel is 2 ohm rated as well. Yes, it should be, right?
Yeah,
On the 4-channel side.
yeah,
What do you think we'll get out of that? Around 300-ish?
yeah. It's probably not going to gain a huge amount, but it will gain some.
Okay, so yeah, Nate, you're good on that. If you have 2 ohm, if you have 2 ohms per door, I guess you could say.
See, Sam's bugging me about the compact Neo V3. Honestly, it's kind of on the back burner because we just got another run of the V2s in, but it is something that I want to get working on. I've been finalizing like the X version 3s, EV6s, Nightshade version 5s. Those are a little bit more important, and then, gosh, so many other things. I can't even list them off right now. But yeah, that's on my agenda.
So we're working heavily on bringing out the new line of things for the Sundown frame stuff. So that would be XV3, ZV6, and NSV5.
Yep.
And we're trying to do that all at the same time.
Roughly, yeah. And if
Yeah.
it had to come out in an order, I would do the Nightshade first, then the Z, then the X.
Yeah, we're making our orders now to get the products here so we can be able to build them when we launch it and have things ready
Yeah.
so people aren't
And
waiting.
Those are also next year products, so like don't try to hold off or anything.
right.
Like,
Let's see.
If you haven't seen the pictures of those NSV5 motors, you should go check those pictures out. I think you got them on the official page, right?
you know what? I don't think I ever posted them. No, they
really
got they'll be black chrome.
should really post
Yeah, they're
those.
pretty sexy.
Yeah, they're pretty nice.
And is that what
We should bring one in here.
8, is that what the 8's going to use as well?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
8's going to use.
It's going to
that
be the
motor?
exact same motor.
Or the 9 or.
Yeah,
Well,
technically it's
eight.
it's an
Eight.
oversized. It's a 9.
Yeah.
Let's see. SFB 1000 with my Assault 12 or my SA 12. It's pretty amazing. And so yes. And
We got a question on the
Okay.
home audio from Jerry Fang there. Jerry, haven't done much, but I did communicate with my factory on that a little bit. I'm going to add, in addition to the volume knob, I'm going to have a gain knob. Because I noticed on my system in particular at home, my pre-op voltage from my CD player and
Receiver.
stuff is really low. 'Cause I guess the receiver just passes it through and the receiver doesn't put any gain on it.
right.
So I'm like, well, in situations like that, you're going to need a gain knob. So I'm going to add a gain knob and a 12-volt trigger so that your
would
receiver
you put your
can.
gain knob back where the input is?
It's going to be on the back, yeah, because you only need to adjust that one time, and then you use the volume from there.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then I'm going to do a 12-volt
People,
trigger.
people are gonna mess that up too. You
Uh,
you put a knob on there, people are gonna just turn it on.
I mean, if you're going to be buying like a home audio amp that costs what these cost, I'm pretty sure you're going to try a little harder.
does SMD make products for home audio? Where's my clipping at?
Yeah.
So Kinzen, you threw up a red flag there with your 1000 and your SA12, and I'm going to express that here. So the red flag is you ask if the low pass filter can go down to 35 hertz. No, it cannot. Not on the SFB line. But my question really is why would you want to bring it down that low?
Or maybe he means the high pass. He might be saying it backwards.
It could be. First and foremost, if you're setting low pass that low, you're not going to get much.
Yeah,
so
the low pass also says the highest or the lowest you can turn it down is 80 hertz.
yeah, but it's not really.
Both of them act like that. Yeah, it says that labeled, but you can actually turn it down a little lower than that.
Yeah, you got to bump it up a little bit.
Well, in the tutorial video I did about setting your crossovers on there, trying to explain the full range crossovers, you'll notice when I set the low pass, I actually tune it in at 50 hertz on the video. I play a 50 hertz tone while I read the output voltage, and I turn the crossover at the low pass to adjust it to start attenuating at 50 hertz. And
About
it
how
will
much did you have to go up to be able to hear it?
I don't remember.
Was it do you remember if it's a significant turn? It shouldn't be a significant turn.
I don't remember. I'd have to go back and watch the video myself. I know it does attenuate a little lower than what is marked on the amplifier.
You know, most of the aftermarket radios now have high and low pass filters for your RCA outputs. So what I usually tell people is if you have an aftermarket radio, utilize what it gives you. You know, go ahead and set your filters a little high. Let your stereo itself do the filtering to the amplifier.
Yep.
Yeah,
You can dial it in easier
active.
that way.
Active crossovers are awesome.
Yeah,
So-
you just throw it on full, just like we do with your system, Donnie. We put it all on full, and we let your head unit handle the filtering.
Yeah.
There's a whole other
On
reason
top of
why.
that, the SFPs they're budget amps, so the crossovers that are built in don't have a really great slope on them either. So I highly recommend running some type of
If you can stack
active
slopes,
crossover.
that's ideal.
And most like
slopes.
every head unit nowadays has some kind of sub out or at least a low pass on a rear out if that's all you have.
So what's our deepest bass subwoofer?
Let's see if you're talking about eights, like honestly, the SA8 probably will dig a little deeper than the
Yeah.
X8, but it's not going to have as much output. If you can fit a 10, could you fit an oversized 10? Like if you could, then I would get like an X10.
Yeah, X is going to have your lowest FS.
Yeah, or you can, honestly, you can get like a ZV5 and put the brown spider on it, or a Nightshade and put the brown spider on it if you can fit that oversized basket.
So yeah, give Mr. Super Long Care, go ahead and get you an X10. I think that's going to be your best bet. And the cool thing about X series is you really don't have to go crazy on your electrical system. So maybe a better battery, some good wire, 1,500 to 2,000 watts is all you need.
Yeah, but behind that third row is very, very limited room.
Yep.
I don't know if you're going to fit some X10s back there.
Which vehicle is that?
He says a 2000 Tahoe behind the third
Is
row.
it really that
Yeah,
low?
the way the back seat it slopes back as it comes up.
Mhm.
So if and you lose a lot of volume because of that, it's super narrow.
Like
Like
10 inches at the top.
four SA8s,
Yeah.
they'll fit easy without a doubt.
Get you
if
a
want the
couple
extra
SA8s.
output, yeah, the X8s are going to do it.
Let's see. Oh, I have a funny little story. We can kind of talk about that. Let these guys build up some questions. So yesterday, my girlfriend and I went to this, that authentic Mexican place down the road over here, and we ordered some tacos. It was really good. Yeah, it's
Did
super.
you eat the taco?
I did, but they're really good, authentic tacos there. Anyway, we come back to my place, and I've got some peppers that I grew in my garden. They're some kind of hybrid chili pepper of some sort. Pretty hot, but they're not like stupid hot like what Jake eats. Anyway, I cut them up. And before, they're probably frozen. I cut them up. Then I was like, all right, I need to go to the bathroom. I started taking a piss, and then
Thank you, Sam.
totally forgot to wash my hands before I took a piss. My dick was on fire for at least 15 minutes.
That'll do it.
Dude, and all I did was touch, the part you touch when you take a piss with one hand. I didn't double fist it.
I don't
or
know how
anything.
you're doing it over there, Brian.
But
I don't think you have to make it that complicated. You just pee.
but
Did you just say you double fisted your dick while you were peeing?
it's that big, man.
That
anyway.
big, that big around.
Wash your hands after cutting hot peppers. That's all I got to say.
So we can answer the team question here for Jordan. We don't really have like a fixed requirement, but you email the team Sundown at sundownaudio.com, and Walt Johnson is the current team captain, and he will basically give you a little interview and see if he thinks you're up to the qualifications.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you for Sam very much for the super chats.
I mean, basically, if you want to get on the team, if you don't travel and go to shows and get some kind of exposure out there, I mean, that's a bottom of the line standard.
Team captain is looking for somebody who dedicates not their life, but dedicates a good portion of their time in the car audio industry, going to shows and repping your products. It doesn't. You don't have to be repping Sundown right in the beginning. You know, basically when you switch over to B Team Sundown, we want you to run Sundown equipment.
Yeah.
But
we're looking for people who are going to represent Sundown and show off the product in a positive manner.
Right. Absolutely.
yep.
We don't want people out there showing their ass at the shows or anything.
Oh no. If you
Yeah,
go to
you
shows and
cut.
you have a bad attitude, we don't want you on the
Be
team.
Right.
looking at that first.
So we have a from Ronco there. What's the max wattage you can make a 2.5-inch coil handle RMS? I guess that would depend on people. All the way that I guess a lot of companies are rating RMS anymore. I don't really believe in it. Like I've seen companies rate 2.5-inch coils like 1,600 watts. I would never do that. The highest that we've ever rated one officially is 750. Although the original SA12 could have easily been 1,000.
Yeah.
And we've done thermal tests. I literally did the will it blow test at 1,000 watts for like 5 minutes
Right.
straight.
And
it
to
held
me, if the sub won't handle it like that for 5 minutes, I would not be that comfortable giving it that rating.
Yeah.
I don't like these ratings that it's like, it handles an amp rated for 1,700 watts. Let's call it 1,700 RMS. I'm not really a big fan of that. But theoretically, I guess if you took like a 2.5-inch coil and put it in like a high excursion design with a super powerful Neo motor, you get the RMS pretty high because at that point, for every watt applied, it will move quite a bit. And the air cooling would be enhanced. I would say, given the way that I just defined it, I could probably get a 2.5-inch coil to do about 1,500 watts RMS, given that. But it would be impractical. It would be a very niche driver.
Now for burp setups is a totally different scenario. You throw
Yeah,
whatever
we've
you
had-
want at it.
We've had an SA18, especially the new V2. With the new SA18, we put so much power into that on a burp. I don't even remember.
You were running
it was ridiculous.
You were running like an NS2 when you were doing a lot of those tests, weren't you?
We had a pair of 7500 strapped on some single 18s, and we almost hit a 160 with the SA18.
And an
I
SA
think it was in the mid 159s.
And it being an SA18, that's got the least amount of cone control too. So you're waiting for it to blow.
that's a 2.5-inch coil.
When you say some single 18s, like you swap them, and you just did it on a single one.
Yeah. When we did the SPL testing in the Jeep with the we got the 15-inch original Magic Box, and we have an 18-inch version as well. Like I did testing with an S18. We just put it in and kept turning it up until it quit getting louder.
Right.
And
that was killer.
Yeah, we were like 16,000 watts doing 159s. Yep. In the Jeep with that, which is pretty damn loud.
Yeah.
And then the U18, we actually never maxed out the U18. We ran out of power. We had 20,000 watts on that thing, doing well over 160 dB, and never broke it, never maxed it out. We always meant to go back and add more power, and we just never did. Never revisited
Maybe
that.
we will. I think. Oh, there we go. I'm back. We can put some two salt 12s on one.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So this is a cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cigar.
Now, if this was California, it'd probably be something different.
This is not the Joe Rogan show.
Jake, you even mentioned before that you wouldn't mind smoking if it was legal.
Yeah, if it was legal,
a
yeah.
very, very to the book guy. If we go to a location where it's legal, he may partake from time to time. But you're not really big on that, honestly.
No, it's not really my thing, but I don't see a problem with it if it's within the law.
He's open-minded.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, what about the carbon fiber former thing? I'm interested
Stainless
to
steel
know-
former.
Carbon fiber formers.
Carbon
I
fiber
have seen
former.
people doing that. I haven't really messed with it myself,
Them
but
Danish folks doing
yeah,
it.
yeah,
What is that?
It makes it lightweight.
it's lightweight.
Yeah.
Super lightweight.
You got to be careful.
That's your. For
Um,
me, that's your biggest benefit is
so
the light moving mass.
So Steve Herman's got a funny point. So
Yeah.
he asks if the stainless steel former coil will
Yeah,
demo.
well, Steve's
It
doing
will.
it because honestly, Steve's a pretty experienced guy. But you got to be careful with the stainless former with a lot of heat. It's a lot easier to slinky.
was
I'm not
very
I'm not
surprised.
saying that you are going to slinky it, but it's easier to slinky than an aluminum former. Now Steve knows the limits. He's been doing this a long time. He's well aware of the risks, and he's killing it. His belt is really freaking loud with the compact neos
Yeah.
on music.
that was a hell of a build. It's a nose tickler for sure.
Yeah,
But
now-
I was freaking out the whole time. Not freaking out. I was very worried while he was demoing because of what they were. I was like,
Right,
dude.
right.
But it gets you right in the chest, gets you in the nose.
Oh yeah, it definitely does.
Feels good.
The most clamp power I've done on stainless formers without issue is about 2,000 watts, and now that's not like 10-minute demos. That's like kind of doing some base boxing, base race stuff. 2,000 watts is nothing. They won't even get hot, doing that.
Wait a
those short
second.
30-second runs.
How do we have so many views on TikTok if we don't have one? He says we have 18 million views on TikTok.
Where does it say that?
This guy at the bottom.
Dirty South Wookie.
I don't even have the app, honestly.
Well, I mean,
So TikTok's like Vine. Is that, I don't even really know what it is. They just do like videos.
I don't know.
China.
I don't do
It's-
it.
maybe maybe it's
the
like
new-
is
it's
it
like
a
the-
hash?
I think it's like the new Vine.
So we're all old.
Yeah.
How does this work?
It's like a short video app kind of
Yeah,
thing.
my kids do it all the time. It's
But the
just
thing is,
random,
Is it like
stupid
Twitter where
comedy
you
videos.
hashtag something?
I don't know, man. Some JP could probably tell us about it.
Right.
But we don't have one.
What's up, Chastity? So
But like just like anything else, if you hashtag something,
I guess
you
it's
get enough of
I
them.
guess people uploading Sundown videos. Maybe there's a way to track the total views or something.
I don't even- I
Maybe
don't even know
Dirty
if they do
South can tell
hashtags
us here.
on TikTok. I'm gonna ask my kids to look into this.
Yeah.
So I do got it. Oh, it's okay. That's Aaron Zook's name. Okay, what's up, Aaron? So Nate asked a question. Is there anything we like about our cables better than other similar cables? So the way that I did our RCAs was to be very mechanically strong, to have a very firm grip on the cable
Yeah, they
inside
do.
inside and out. And then there's everything's tin copper, even in the RCAs. And I believe in car audio, your cable should always be tin copper. I mean, cables are not magic, so you want your cables to be durable. You want them to be corrosion resistant, and and that's about it. And I think that ours do a really good job of that.
Don't forget their resistance tests.
Yeah.
That's true,
Remember
yeah.
when we were first
Yep,
starting?
yep.
and
It's like the
You
same
actually
resistance
got-
no matter the size.
I got a micro ohm meter to check the RCAs, because you don't want to lose signal unnecessarily. Is it going to make or break? Is it going to change the sound quality? Not necessarily, but you don't want to just lose signal when you can avoid it.
Yeah, and in some research, a lot of inexpensive, I'll just say cheap, a lot of your cheap RCAs out there, they're actually CCA wire. They're not even good copper wire. And none of them advertise that. It's something you got to kind of dig in and find out the hard way that they're not very good
Go
cable.
get you some Walmart RCAs.
Dustin, I did have your cigar. Thank you very much, by the way.
I remember back in the day, I got some decent RCAs from Walmart. Way back in the day.
You won't anymore.
Yeah.
It's the things with wire has gotten so cheap that everything is CCA.
They even had that little ground wire on them that everybody thought was a remote wire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it comes with a remote wire? Shit. Then they get like this nasty ass signal. I've done it before
I did that all
too.
the time. But yeah, even a lot of your jumper cables you buy nowadays, they're all CCA wire.
Yeah, it's
Like
all junk.
you buy a pair of jumper cables off Amazon, you're getting CCA.
Yeah, you got to spend good money to get
It's
the real
hard
ones.
to even find a company, especially with jumper cables, that'll list what type of wire they use. But just know if it's cheap, it's CCA. It's garbage wire.
Dustin wants to know if you tried his cigar.
I did. Yeah, I actually just answered that, Brian.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
So my dad has some jumper cables he made from like coal mine equipment cable, and it's like 2-aught solid copper.
Derek, didn't you do a video on how to make jumper cables?
I did. There's a whole how to make your own jumper
Yeah,
cable
we have the
video
Sundown
using
wire
Sundown
jumper cables.
wire.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep. I made a set.
Weren't
and
you
they
like
awesome.
doing like a whole package?
I've actually got a short story. My daughter left her lights on at school one day, and her battery went dead. And after school, anybody that had jumper cables, and somebody had the cheesiest cheap pair of $20 jumper cables that wouldn't even jump her car off to get it started.
Wow.
So she called me, and I drove down there, and I had my truck that's already upgraded. I've got the alternator and the dual battery set up and all. And yeah, as soon as I touched my Sundown Audio 1-aught wire jumper cables, it was literally like touch it, bam, fired right up.
Right.
So we got some questions here. SQ subwoofer. I am still working on it. Kind of low priority because there's so many other things I'm doing, and it's a really niche market for Sundown.
Yeah.
But yes, I do want to do it because I want it in my own car. And then we have actually Ronco's question is we could talk about that all night. What limits X-Max? All of those things. Like any of those things can limit X-Max.
Every part of every moving part of a subwoofer.
I hate giving out. We actually had a guy today ask for the X Max of a certain woofer. I don't remember which one it was, but I think the X Max of like an X versus the X Max of like a U series is very similar.
The linear X-Max by BL is identical.
But people don't understand.
Yeah.
It's different than the mechanical
Yeah.
X Max.
The linear
It's
X-Max
different.
by CMS, I haven't had the U clippled yet, but I'm going to. You'll see that the U is going to have a very standard parabolic suspension curve, so you're probably going to run into technically X-Max by CMS before BL. Not to say you can't push it farther than that, but technically by the definition that we use in Clipple, which is 50% a change in compliance, it's going to happen before BL more than likely.
Right. This is ZV5.
Couple old questions. I want to hit these real quick.
What's that?
Carbon fiber lettering on shirts. We did that actually like a year or two ago. We did a bunch of carbon fiber logos on shirts, and they weren't that popular. I don't know. They didn't sell well, and we haven't done it since. But maybe we'll bring it back if people think they'll sell better. And Project SPL is collecting dust for this season. Yeah, I won't touch it.
But they're doubling points, bro.
Nah, if I don't get the points for next season because they're doubling up, whatever, I'll do my thing next year just like normal. But yeah, Project SPL is going to collect dust. We've pulled the amps out of it. It will be changing over to salt amps for next year, and I'll be doubling up the windshield and then finishing off the inside of the enclosure. But yeah, this season got destroyed by the Rona, so I'm not even bothering with it.
Like everything else.
Oh, I got a bunch of questions too. Are you done?
Amp Test Tuesday. I'm actually Amp Test Tuesday will be coming back very soon. I've been doing a lot of work testing out all the salt multi-channels, so I'll be doing videos for them. I've done all the testing ahead of time. Then I'll have to go back after hours and shoot videos for them all, but those will be coming very, very soon. Yeah, I've tested like 20 amps this past week.
You've done the test in the 5-channel, right?
The salt 5-channel?
Both of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've tested all the salt multi-channels.
I'm talking about the SFB.
Yeah, I actually.
yeah,
it-
I did some real
earlier.
it's on
I did some
Facebook
quick,
too.
quick testing.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you posted it or not.
All right, let's see. We got a couple here. Are the ZV5s on back order? They actually, from us, they are, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And X's. Basically anything
All.
we build right now
Yeah,
is on back order.
everything.
It's pretty rough right now, guys. Like we mentioned before, Rona happened. People stayed home.
Yeah, it went crazy.
People
man.
got money. They're like, oh, car audio time. So that mixed with suppliers overseas not being able to supply us with the products we needed in a quick manner.
It's been crazy. And let's see. SD4, it probably is. It's our best current SQ sub within its limits, but its limits are much lower than a lot of other subs.
Yeah.
Linear X-Max by BL on it. Let's see. Going off memory here, I believe it's 14 millimeters one way, and it's extremely linear up until then. And but beyond that, if you need more output, obviously you're going to start running into distortion. But if you're after just SQ, yeah, the SD4 is a great option. I know Charles Haley, SQ competitor,
Right.
got some in his daily, and he absolutely loves them.
Do you feel the changes that we made going from SD3 to SD4, do you think it messed with the SQ side of things?
No,
Okay.
no, definitely not.
Try to
The only
dumb it down.
the big advantage that you have with SD4 is you have significantly more mechanical ruggedness, because after the motor runs out of steam, the suspension starts to clamp down.
Right. I wasn't sure if that would change. It would change anything.
Yeah, technically past BL linearity, the CMS distortion increases, but you shouldn't be there anyway.
Right.
If you're
Shouldn't
there, you're going to break your sub.
You can actually run those woofers in ported enclosures
Yeah.
now. We still recommend not to, but for those that want to, you can.
So NSV 5s, the best answer I can give you is early next year, as far as ETA.
We've tested with a few different people NSV 4.5s to basically see how
Yeah.
5 is going to go, how
Right.
it's going to work. We're very happy with it. None of those guys have blew their woofers yet.
No, definitely. Joey Crane was the first one, and
He did blow over?
No, he's the first one to get them.
Oh, okay.
And so
And
let's.
then Daniel Powell and
Yep, we'll go down a little bit. Cheaper coil in the SA, it would definitely suffer. You can get very cheap coils. They will fail much earlier than what we used in the SA.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as cost-wise, the coil in there isn't that expensive to start with.
No,
so
it's really not.
Definitely would not be cost-effective
Yeah,
to get a less expensive.
There's no
horsepower.
reason to do it like objectively unless you were really trying to shave $2 off the
if
build
you want
cost.
something that's a cheaper woofer like the SA, just go with the EV3.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
It's got a 2.5-inch coil, just like
a
the SA.
V1 SA
Classic.
drop-in, they're like $60 plus shipping
Yeah.
now or something
Yeah.
like.
Very affordable.
Yeah, to change to a cheaper coil, you're only gonna save a few dollars.
Yep.
So Aaron says I should write a subble for memoir. Maybe once I retire, because if I did it now, you know what would happen.
Yep. There'd be Scar V2 out there.
Yeah. So Joey wants to know how hot the Nightshade motors can get. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. If you touch it and it leaves some of your skin on the motor, then that's probably getting there.
Right.
Other than that, if you can still touch it, you're pretty good.
A lot of people actually worry about that, about the Nightshade motors getting very hot.
You want to talk about what grade Neo is in there and how hot the Neo actually would have to get before we see some kind of
an
effect?
H grade, and it's going to have to get above like 188C, which is like 88C past water boiling. So
How is Neo graded?
there's the regular one that doesn't have an H on it, and it's like 100 and I'm just paraphrasing. I can't tell you exactly. It's like low 100C, which would be risky in that design. You get up to the H, which again I'm just
Does H
shoot from the
stand
cuff.
for hot.
I don't know exactly what it really stands for, but you can think about it that way. But I believe it's about 188C. It's pretty high. And nobody's had any issues whatsoever, no matter how much power they're because that motor, like especially where the magnets are, it's got all that aluminum that feeds into the basket.
Aluminum.
It's going to be really hard for that to stay hot for long.
Yeah. Well, just while we're talking about that, Jake, you might know a little more on this, but somebody messaged me a question the other day, Casey Sims, and he was trying to have. I think he's doing some kind of custom build. He said he had some Neo slugs. He was talking about getting them powder coated, but yeah, he was worried about the heat and losing the magnetism. And I'm instantly like, yeah, if you got to bake that powder coat on, you're probably going to mess up that Neo. I would not recommend doing that.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
But he was second part of his question was asking about recharging the Neo and how to get it done here in the States. And I'm just like, yeah, I know our magnetizer won't do it.
Yeah, it has to be a totally different style, and like ours won't do it.
A lot of options for that. Like, not a lot
I
of
assume
people
they do that.
I'm not even sure what to do
individually.
if you had a situation. If you did something like that and didn't think about it and had your stuff powder coated, you're like, crap, my Neo just lost its magnetism. You just got to start all over and buy new Neos.
Yeah. Later, Steve.
Yeah, I just recommended some spray paint on it and.
So Mr. Dusky wants to know what we all run in our personal vehicles. I think Jake and Donnie are the only ones with the actual system in their car.
I don't know. I don't have
You
one.
got one in your
I do
Jetta.
have an
My
SPL
Jetta, yeah.
build.
I have a system in my truck.
My Jetta has
Do
some.
you? Oh,
some
you
e-coaxials.
never drive, right? Well, you're not on the show. Nobody can see you. So Donnie's got the build that you guys saw. We did the video with, and G, you got something in here.
There's a X18 or something.
No, I took that shit out and put 2X10s.
Oh,
on a
2
3K.
X10s and a 3K. Do you like it?
Yeah. Jake,
Yeah.
would a ZV3 motor perform any good on a 12-inch frame?
Like the Sundown frames.
Sundown frame.
Yes.
It'll perform pretty similar to a ZV4.
Using SPL
Just
cone.
has a little bit less X-Mech.
Using
So-
SPL
Yeah.
cone,
Maybe,
SPL cone, and brown spider.
He's
Yeah, we
trying
did
to-
something like that for Jared way back in the day in his Jeep. He had something like that.
Right. G, do you want to sit down and have some fun with us?
Sure.
Let's see.
I'll-
So
I'll keep your mic. Oh, you want to sit over there?
I got 2 questions I'm going to hit real quick. When am I going to do a component below the SAV3? I was just talking to Nathan Munson about that because he runs a retail shop as well. He says they're not really that popular.
Real quick.
Have I thought about it? Sure.
Hold on. G, sound check that mic. Just say something.
Penis.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Penis
So
and
there'll be a coax coming, but maybe not a component.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, have I thought about an E component? Yes, but I don't know. Like I'm really torn about it.
Well, we would have to bring the SD component back.
Because
if
we
did
used
that.
to have the SD component, and like once we came out with the SA component, like it basically took over the sales.
I think if anything,
Yeah.
if we do another component set that's lower end, it needs to be a shallower component for people with shallow
Yeah.
design.
Yeah, that was definitely something weird that we saw. Bringing in the SD component and upgrading the SA components, the SA components sold far better.
And it's like twice as
than
much,
the cheaper
but it's-
SD.
it's that much
and the SD
better.
components were great components. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with
yeah.
them, but people wanted the better components for their setup.
Right.
So
You get the SA component's a little warmer, a little brighter at the same time, and it's a little louder.
Yeah, so let me hit the X-Mech on the SA Classic. So we have let's see, 45
19
minus
millimeters?
12.
Yo, Sam.
No, that's X Max by BL. He wants
Oh.
X Max. So 45, 15, 30, 15 minus 50. That's about 35 millimeters one way X Mech.
You guys just saw a human calculator.
And you're pretty much not going to run into that.
That the SCV-60K was top secret information.
Let's see. Sam Dunn wants to know if I ever thought about making a radio. Absolutely not.
no,
No.
But
there's no market.
but here's the deal: everything's going into
Yeah,
OEM
I know.
integration anyway, so we're not doing radios, but we're thinking about and looking into doing DSPs and shit like that.
And
processor
that's been a
units.
pain too. So let's
Right.
see. The Crane family. I don't know if that's Joey or Chastity actually posting. 150 Fahrenheit on your Nightshade motor is no problem.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's good.
That ain't shit. They get Z.
You want to know if they're hot? Just get your little wipe the sweat off your forehead and flick it on them, and if it doesn't sizzle off, you're not there
I
yet.
think if it's hot, the motor would just shift.
So SFB
It's gotta be really
16K.
hot.
So this is the thing about the 16K. We never got to a point where we were satisfied with it. So we're working on something that I'm not talking about really officially yet before we come out with anything bigger than a 13.5.
Biggins. You talking about on the SFB side?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that ZV412 could it take 35 to 5,000 watts?
I would tell them.
ZV3,
I would
that's
tell
ZV3.
somebody no. That's what I would say.
That's what they want to do. Too.
Tell them 2,000 watts.
If
then
they're,
you're good
if they're
to
going
go.
to put a 3,500 watt amp on it, they'll be fine.
They want to put 35 to 5,000 watts on a ZV3 with a 12.
Who's setting
A
who's setting the
rated-
gain though? You?
A rated amplifier.
Oh,
that'll
I'm
be
not
fine.
doing nothing. I'm just gonna be like, that's no warranty. You know that.
So I got ZV6 ETA is also going to be early next year. That's the best I can get you on that. X component set. Actually, I think I only posted this on my personal page, but I got the clipple done on the first one, and it was pretty good. But I'm not totally satisfied, so I'm going to go back to the drawing board a little bit. On the mid, I'm going to change the cone body. I'm going to change the spider. I'm going to add another shorting ring. I'm going to change the height of the voice coil, among other things. On the tweeter, I had a little bit of anomaly in frequency response, so I was going to adjust the shorting ring position again, maybe the back chamber a little bit. I've been kind of fighting with the supplier on the dome to change the surround on it a little bit because I wanted to alter the CMS properties a little bit. So there's a lot of things that I want to do.
I see Ed Lester's in the house, Mr. Showtime SPL.
up,
Thank
Ed?
you. The studio, I'm very happy with it. And
Come back on the show.
Yeah, come back. If you guys look way back last year, we had Ed Lester and Bruce Weatherington from EXO on as well. So check out that show. Good guys over there.
Isn't it just EXO?
EXO or EXO? He says
what I say. I
he
call it
said
EXO.
he didn't care how you say it.
Okay.
Yep.
So
That was one of the first questions I asked him on the show.
ZV5 coils, that's a Precision Econoline American coil. They rate them 500 degrees. And it's pretty much the industry standard coil. You know, like all the good companies use those coils from Precision.
When's the new LCS is coming out?
So let's see. I'm going to say just off the top of my head, because I don't have my papers in front of me, that's, if I had to guess, that would be in November,
We're doing
December.
version 2?
Yeah, version 2.
Let's talk about that. I don't think we have.
Yeah, so the LCS 12 is a freaking great subwoofer. And the only
Very
complaints...
underrated subwoofer.
Yeah, the only complaints anyone had was cosmetic. So the V2 will have a new stamp basket, significantly stronger, better looking. It'll have a rubber gasket. It'll have push terminals and even a magnet boot. But
Sexy.
performance-wise, it's essentially identical, except the cooling's a little better because the basket, we added some vent windows in the basket. And then there will also be a 10. The price is still under 100. The 12 is 99. The 10 is going to be 89.
Are we doing dual 2 on these models?
No, dual 4
Keep
only.
them dual 4?
Yeah.
And I've done the Will It Blow test. We did that on an LCS 12, and it handled its 300 watts like nothing,
Yep.
no sweat. I
Right.
want to say we bumped it up. We did it at 300, and then we did a 50% over. We did a 450 or 500 watts. We did in that range, and it took that no sweat as well. It handled that without
Okay.
any issue.
Marshall's got something here for me.
And then
Should I do 2 ohm coaxials? You know, honestly, I thought about that.
Yeah.
A couple of people have brought that to my attention. You know, once we flesh out the line a little bit, I'll probably offer that as an option.
Some companies do the 2 ohm. There's not many. I know Infinity and
Yeah.
JL.
A long
used to do that.
time
What's
ago,
up?
actually, the first one was a 3 ohm, but Orion did a 3 ohm back in the 90s, I believe.
Yeah, JL did that too.
Gio, what's up? What's up, brother?
Whew. Hot on that mic. All right, so let me X component. Why not have a woofer and a single 2 ohm? Yeah.
It's
That's
similar
what we
to
just did,
Marshall's
yeah.
question. It's possible. Like I'm designing around 4 ohm. I mean, we make plenty of amps that make plenty of power at 4 ohms. But yeah, it's. I mean, I might consider it.
Well, the X series component we're marketing towards SQ. SQ guys don't use a butt ton of power, in most cases, unless you're Charles Haley.
That door made a difference.
Always good to have overhead.
Yeah, I don't know if does DeGuardo still sell the VC temp sensors. I'm not really sure.
That's
Last I
been
read, he-
coming out for many.
Yeah,
many
he was
months.
doing a new version, and it was still coming soon.
It's been years. Because even when I owned Directronics, I was supposed to sell that product, and he didn't have any available then, and that was like 2 years ago. So it's been that long. People been waiting.
Yeah, I think
So-
he's busy with his regular job and
Yeah,
all that.
he's got a very strenuous job doing what he does where he works. So I haven't talked to him in a while. I need to hit him up and see what's up.
He's just on the Book of Face talking about how much better BMWs are than Mercedes all the time. you
That's
know?
right.
That is very true.
With his louvers.
BMW
Alright.
is better than Mercedes.
I gotta roll.
All
I got
right.
somewhere I gotta be.
Well, you
Adios.
have yourself a good rest of your evening, Mr. Derek.
Peace, everybody.
Bye, Derek.
Next time you come on, we had to talk about that hot wings.
hot story.
Yeah, we were going to get into that. We forgot.
So Superior Lawn Care. I mean, you should always run Sundown amps, but that's probably a pretty good amp right there. I'm not familiar with that exact model, but it's probably pretty good.
Yeah,
Let's-
def bound stuff is generally what they say it is.
Yep.
Just like us. What else we got going on over here? Not a whole lot. Anybody have any? We haven't really had many episodes yet this season.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
haven't really talked about all the stuff people have missed the whole year that the show's been in hiatus.
Are we going to talk about the tweeters?
Which
were,
ones?
Were there some tweeters in here?
We early on talked about the pro tweeters that were,
because I thought the ones you had, we had like a box that was in here. I thought we were going to talk about them.
I don't know.
When was there a box in here? Tweeters.
I left
Like-
the box in here.
Oh, well then my bad. I'm sorry.
So
I thought they were in here so we could talk about them.
Ed's asking about a Sundown DSP. We're in early testing with one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like there's a lot of software involved, so it's a little buggy right now. Nothing that I can really share.
And then on the tech
Yeah.
support side, we got to know what we're doing and talking about too. So yeah.
2 new surrounds. Ryan, I'm still going back and forth with the patent on the fast surround. It's patents are tricky. I've been 3 years on that patent so far. Actually, initially designed it about 4 years ago. Started designing it and got the patent application ready in 2017, and it's been pending ever since. So it's kind of a pain in the butt. Now the Mega W's, I've had some difficulty with manufacturing. The first bigger W that'll come out will probably be the Nightshade 8 because that's within the range that they can actually manufacture at my current supplier. The
Right.
bigger ones, I'm actually in talks with the U.S. Company that makes cones and surrounds. They're telling me that they can manufacture it. So I've been going back and forth with them trying to get tooling quotes and stuff.
Right. So Superior Lawn Care, your question is that basically you want to run a 7500 per or four X8 V3s. I don't suggest doing such a thing. The biggest I would
it's a lot of power.
biggest I would go would be make sure your woofers are dual 2 ohm, run series
Yeah,
parallel.
G was over here like, yeah, bro.
You do
Yeah,
that
bro,
'cause
you'll
I
be
did
all
it.
right.
Yeah,
You'll be all right. Bro's
You know,
like, no,
have I seen
6 of them on an NS1.
have I seen people do something like that? Yeah, but you're really pushing the boundaries right there,
Yeah.
and you'd have to keep the box pretty small as well.
Assault 4 would be the perfect amp for 4 of those. That's it gives you a little extra headroom. The woofers are rated at 800 watts, so you're good, man. That's 4,000, and the amp puts out a little more than 4,000 watts anyway. Make sure you have dual 2s wired in series parallel.
Look at that chat revenue. That's a case of beer right there.
Heck
Hell yeah, it is.
We need some
Copper
beer.
or aluminum.
I got some
for-
black label.
Depends on
y'all
what your situation
For
is.
what? Copper, aluminum for voice coils?
Let's say
And
coils.
It's really application dependent. Usually,
bring a bottle
I tend to
of
use
that.
copper on our coils that are smaller than 3 inches because the weight to drive force ratio works out. But when you go to a 3-inch, a lot of times it doesn't. It just really depends what you're going for.
Would SQ guys say that the copper would give you a better sound?
I mean, some of them might, but it's really nothing. There's really nothing to that per
What
se.
really, I know. Obviously, I know the difference between the metals, but what are you gaining by sticking with a copper coil versus an aluminum?
Copper is
Or
more
vice versa.
copper is more conductive, so you get a little bit more. Basically, I guess the more packing density.
You get more out of your magnetical force.
Yeah, basically you'll get a higher BL for like, say you have a given gap and you have a 4-ohm coil, one's copper, one's aluminum. The copper is going to give you a little bit more motor force, but it's also heavier, and you got to balance it out in the suspension. So it's all about the mass to BL ratio, and like I said, it usually works out the way that I like to design my subs. It usually works out if it's smaller than 3-inch copper, and if it's bigger, 3-inch or bigger, then I usually go to an aluminum.
Gotcha. Run those subs a half ohm.
What's my go-to whiskey? Let's see here. I usually drink Scotch, and I like Lafroig if I'm just going to pick something up that's mid cost, or if I'm going a little higher end, I like drawing a blank.
Isn't
You're getting there. No, not Ozone. Oban. Oban's a very smooth Scotch, and the Lafroig is very not smooth.
going towards what's he? What's
Oh
he
no,
doing? What
it's
is
horrible.
going on here?
But it's drinkable.
Thomas had it right here.
So let's see. I think I might have missed
Hold
something.
on, hold on, real quick. So Byron had a good to add to his question, or not, it's not really to add to it, but I had a few people recently ask if they can send us things. I would like some too, if you could, Giovanni.
I'll be right back.
I had a few people ask if they could send us things like cigars, whiskey, whatever, T-shirts, hats, whatever you want. Actually, I've got a shelf up here that was back behind where Jake is to put cool things on. We've got an address, obviously. If you can send it to us. Here, go ahead and get your pen and paper out, people. The address is 514 West 21st Street, Newton, and that is spelled Newton. And that is North Carolina 28658.
Gee, you need to try
So
this
514 West 21st Street. Oh yeah, it's a good idea, Brandon. I'll type it in there. So if
For the record.
yeah, if you want to send us anything, alcohol, cigars, just weird, crazy shit to put on the shelves back here, go ahead. We're cool with it. And I'll go ahead and type that in here. What are we drinking, by the way?
Johnny
We
Walker.
also like cases of Miller Lite.
Yeah, Miller Lite. If you want to send us beer.
We drink a lot of Miller Lite. It's like we basically drink more of it than water.
This
I think.
is like a jug.
We're sponsored
Black
by
label.
them.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Look at it. This is a jug.
Dude, that thing was halfway, and Thomas drank it all. Like,
Thomas
in
drank
a
it all.
week.
That one Andy brought. Or is that a different one?
Just
That.
Yeah, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's compliments of Andy at Vex Pro.
oh, thanks, Andy. If you're
Thank you.
watching,
I think that's from like 2 years ago when he came out for the Sundown show.
so I'm gonna go ahead and type in our address here.
Aged.
Are y'all still gonna do a wall with stickers?
We did. It's the door. The door is gonna have stickers and signatures.
So-
yeah.
Wow.
I have a-
door.
That's
So
cool.
Vex Pro and Apex on there now.
I have a really uncommon question from Broncos. People say voice coils need heat cycles to cure. So there's something to it because coils always do something called outgassing when they get hot
Separate
the
the
first couple
west.
times. Generally, it doesn't present an issue, but it doesn't hurt to heat cycle them a little bit. I remember back when Jared was running NSV3s. He was running so much juice on them that he had a lot better longevity when he heat cycled them first. It basically makes it a lot harder for you to get those bubbles in the former, which are usually from a combination of outgassing and heating really fast. So yeah, there is something to it.
You forgot to space the W.
Oh yeah, fuck it. There's a space between the W and the 21st. If you guys don't know how to write addresses in, have your mama do it.
Yeah.
That's a problem we're running into. A lot of these younger folks, they don't know how to correctly
And Brian.
write addresses.
Solo X rebuilds.
What's going on?
Oh, this guy I'm just reading.
Solo X
Do
rebuild.
you still do that, Brian? Probably not. That would be for Dan, right?
Whew. Yeah, have Dan do that. I don't mess with any crazy stuff anymore. I've got local people that send me little bits of this and that, and I'll rebuild for them. But if it's a Solo X, I'm not touching it anymore. That was such a pain in the ass.
So Marshall's in here. A lot of you guys don't know Marshall. He's just some dude. Actually, I was at his house the first time I met Dan Wiggins and Scotty Johnson.
Is that the guy who does the?
He's in Memphis, and I talked to him about my garden now.
Does he do the homes now?
No. Marshall's he lives out in like Memphis.
Oh, okay.
And he had a base head picnic, and the Dan Wiggins was there, Scotty Johnson, and Nick Wright. Me and Nick Lemons were there. It was like a huge. Nick Morgan actually, that was with Five for a while, was there. Like all of us guys were there, and Marshall was running a wall with 4 Dyer Tempests, which by today's standards are a very low-powered sub, like stamp frame, I believe 2.5-inch coil. But Marshall was doing 50s, pretty solid numbers with those things.
Around when was that? Early mid 2000s.
That was when I was in college, so that was like 2002.
Oh.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I heard a Dyer was trying to come back out with some new
Yeah.
shit.
Well, Dan sold the company. I guess it's maybe been sold twice now. I'm not sure. But the new guys, they brought the Brahma back and the Tempest, and they have some other stuff.
Right. I heard the girls turn on the sound system in there. I hope they don't start blaring that.
Why do people love Sundown though?
Because it's awesome.
We got a good
That's
product.
it?
We have a good
That's
value
awesome?
for what you're purchasing. It's one of the best values in the
I
market.
think it's the best.
I should probably drink
I
some
like
of this.
I like to think of it that way.
Oh yeah, Team High Voltage show. Yes.
No.
So Saturday and Sunday, Team High Voltage.
Aren't you
Slamming
going?
And, yeah, slamming and jamming. I think I'm just going to be there Saturday. I know it's going to be me, Derek. I think Brandon, are you coming?
Probably not. I might. I don't know.
Okay. I know Derek and I are going to be out there at least Saturday. We're going to set up a booth. We have a whole booth set up. It's
Brandon, do you
in
wanna sit here?
it's in Newport,
Oh, okay.
Tennessee. So that's this weekend coming up on Saturday. So there's not many shows. A lot of shows have been canceled. That one has been rescheduled, and they're still going forward with it.
I was bummed about Slamology. I
Yeah.
really wanted to go to Slamology.
Yeah, Slam is great.
We should have some merchandise there to sell, shirts.
Yeah, we should have a bunch of merch. I know we ran out of hats, I think, right?
Yeah, there's no more straw hats. We probably won't have any until next year, and we'll do a redesign of those.
Right. We should get the ones with the fan inside of them.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Sundown though.
Need one with a big old feather in the back.
Who's coming to the Ruckus show?
Nobody.
I plan on making it. So here's the cool thing.
I'm gonna try to. This thing might go on.
Here's the cool thing about the Ruckus show, or the bad thing. When I was married, that show always fell on my wife's birthday. But I'm not married anymore, and my new lady, her birthday is not in November anymore.
Isn't it?
Nice.
So
It's
I can go
November, or is it the end of September?
It's
November 7th.
Oh,
I can go to the Ruckus Show now, finally.
Derek and I will
Heck yeah.
probably be there.
I know I'm going to a show in Tennessee this
Yep.
week. It's nothing about cars.
oh.
It's called Slammed Enough or something like that.
So yeah, you should see a bunch of us out there. Make it. I've actually never been to the Ruckus Show, and I
I've
heard
never
it's like
been
it's a
either.
it's a
I've
fun
been
show.
I've
So
not-
I'll definitely go this year.
Honestly, I think I went to the first one they had.
Yeah.
It was like at this
In
place.
in a mall parking lot.
Yeah, you remember that? Yeah. I went to their first Ruckus Show,
Right.
No,
but I haven't
we've
been any other
I
than.
think we've been every year actually. I know last year we didn't go because SEMA fell on the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But every other year we
Well, this year are you guys going to Vegas?
No, SEMA's canceled.
I know, but I know you
See,
had
yeah,
you
see,
had
yes.
like
Is
tickets.
it really? I know
Yeah.
Jake's upset.
You're not
I know,
just
I love
going- you're not
CES.
just
But you
going
can still
anywhere?
go out there.
I'm not, no.
Fuck that.
So Jake, are we going to go to Vegas this year?
That's
Have we
not looking good,
have
man.
we hit our quota?
You said it's
Wait,
not.
what?
looking-
Oh well, we would have to wait until things calm down, but I would say more than likely.
Wait,
so
Vegas?
Jake,
He can say more than likely, but we are.
so Jake gave us
Hey.
We just don't know when yet.
basically we had a quota to meet in the sales department, so to speak, and we have been hitting it so far this
Yeah, man.
year.
Definitely.
And thank you, Rona.
Thank you, stimulus check.
With everybody's help.
And
Yeah.
basically, it was like, hey, if you guys can do this, we're gonna go somewhere. And I think we all picked that we want to go to
I think
Vegas.
the government talked to Jake. It's like, all right, Jake, $600. Make that shit
So
work.
we'll take a week off of work. Sundown is gonna shut down for a week, and we're gonna say, screw you guys. We're gonna go gambling.
No, we're
have
gonna
some
go
fun.
basing.
We don't know when.
Time to do it.
We're all gonna stay at JP's house.
Basically, we'll just go to the. We'll go during the crappiest sales month we normally have.
Which is
That-
January.
That way, it doesn't matter.
Wait, so that means the whole family or just the crew members are going?
Details are limited.
We have no idea. We don't know.
So
It's
this
it's
is
all
a-
up to
it's
this
a-
guy.
It's a talk, though, right?
It's all up to this guy. But it's up in the air, and we're gonna.
I'm kind of
Hey,
proud of myself.
We got a couple questions here. What's new with my distillery? Everything's been slow. I haven't been able to even go up there.
Doing
And my-
hand sanitizer. Though,
And my,
right?
yeah, my partner is he works at a hospital as a pharmacist, so he's been slammed. He hasn't been there very much.
Wow.
So, but we still got the stuff in barrels, aging it. So, you know, with
What
this
is
kind
it? What is in the barrels?
we have whiskey. and
Hopefully, it's a little smoother than this shit.
it's way smoother than that. we have some whiskey and we have various other like base liquors that we use for flavored
Jelly
liquors
stuff?
and stuff like that. And the Recon Exchange. So
Holy
Nick
water.
Ron 06. If you file an RMA and send it in, like it's definitely an option to just pay to get a new one. Yeah, if we have the product in stock.
Yeah, totally. Depends on what it is. Now, here's the thing. So we charge you a rebuild fee, and that rebuild fee, you may get a new product or you may get a rebuilt
Yeah.
item.
If
Depends
it's
on what it
if
is.
it's in stock, we usually send you a new one.
Yeah. Which lately, a lot of things have been in and out of stock so quickly, it's hard to keep up with.
He had a thump. Should I be concerned?
Sounds like amp turn on or turn off.
Yeah, it's probably
pop.
just a turn off pop.
You
Might want to
have
look
a
into
short
maybe
somewhere, maybe.
grounding your RCAs or something. Might help with that.
I love white girls.
Speak.
I do.
I mean, that's a true story. That is a fact.
I've never.
Yeah,
had,
I
I've
like
only
white
had
girls
one,
too.
One color skinned girl since I've gotten here in 9 years.
So Vegas.
So Vegas, I might break that.
Giovanni's gonna get married if he goes there.
Hell no.
Vegas gonna take all your
I
money,
do want to
G.
get married next year in Acapulco, though.
To who?
He doesn't know yet. He doesn't know
I
yet.
do know.
You gotta find the right person, right?
Huh?
Does she know?
Nah, she doesn't know. No.
Oh, you need to elaborate a little more on this. I'm curious.
No,
Let's talk some of
actually,
it.
talking about the thing, I was just like, dang, we finally run out of motors. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I was just like, when I was first organizing, I was just like, dude, that's a lot of fucking motors.
Yeah.
Right, and we burned through them.
We still have motors.
It doesn't matter how much we order.
What,
We
Z-motors?
still run out.
Only
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have Z-motors, but we don't have.
We've been getting product
Oh,
in
the X's are
like
used.
left and right, and
I
we
used the
still
last of them
run
today.
out.
I do have thousands of motors on the way, so we got that going for us.
We need 'em here, though,
Thousands
Jake.
upon thousands of parts.
Yeah.
Build 'em, which is
But
a lot
gee,
right now.
I want to know more about this Acapulco thing going on.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to Acapulco next year for a month.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm going
With
to get,
anybody or just by yourself?
Well, I've been telling some friends, and I got like 2 of them that do want to go. And
She's
I'm
gonna
just,
get married twice.
It's pretty
So-
cool. It's pretty cool down there.
So-
Is there
yeah.
a Vegas down there?
It is Vegas down there. That's the thing.
Shit.
If you have money.
Was it party town for Americans basically
What?
at the resorts?
Well, the resort that I want to go is 25,000 pesos a night.
What's that equal?
That means
American?
$1,000 a day. To stay there.
That's still pretty damn
Man,
high.
balling.
Yeah, that's. Hey, I deserve to go out there. You know. That's why I'm trying to get
So-
that. All that shit paid for.
We got a question here about the Salt 4. So the thing about the Salt 4 is we tried to make it as small as possible. So the casing is actually too narrow to fit the other input. So especially if you're going to run that thing below 1 ohm, you definitely need to have the multiple inputs on it.
God almighty.
Yes. Oh, speaking of that, there was a picture that went around on the interwebs last week
Show us.
or this week about it was a guy who did his install very much incorrectly. So he had two SFB amplifiers. I think they're 8Ks.
5Ks.
They've got dual inputs. There's dual inputs.
Oh,
He put his power and ground coming from his battery to one input, and he used the other one as an output to the other amp.
Yeah.
You don't do that, folks.
I think he was confused because the remote you can do that way.
Yeah.
I think that he had a misunderstanding there. Technically, it would work, but you're going to really choke off your power a lot.
Does it say out? Where
No,
the remote is?
The remote.
Okay.
The remote itself is just a chain thing.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do
Yeah.
manuals for the SFBs?
Yes.
Yeah, I really would like to get that done, but
Charles Haley is working on on a manual for us. Now, Charles, I'm not going to get into his stuff. He's got a lot going on right now, but basically we had manuals for the SFB amps, but they were so poorly written that we did not feel comfortable sending them off with the product. So we declined, and we're going to make our own. I got Charles Haley working on it since he's good with technical drawings.
yeah. In the meantime, like
He's
Derek's
busy.
videos are a really
Doesn't
great
matter if I
resource.
avoid warranty. Which one can handle the power? NS1.
Salt. Well, the correct answer is none.
Yeah. Theoretically,
None.
if one
Well,
was so inclined,
The official answer is none.
if one was so inclined, all of our Korean amps, people have ran them in half ohm for like the last 14 years.
Yep.
Not supposed
So
to.
right now
You still do
that
it.
you can get in production, salts.
Yeah.
Salts will be here in October if your dealer's out
Hopefully.
of them, which most of them are out of them right now.
That'll be the 4, 6, and 8s. There won't be 12s on this one. The
Okay.
early next year batch will have 12s again.
Gotcha. Okay, so you know Salt 12s until next year, folks. So what are we planning on seeing new coming out on the market for Sundown Audio before the year's end?
We need 'em
Before the
all.
end of the year, probably just the new LCSs that I'm
The
willing to
coaxes,
that I want
the
to discuss right now. Yeah, the
coaxes.
ecoaxes. I don't want to discuss a lot of other things yet because we're not ready to talk about them.
Gotcha.
Because it's none of their business.
For the for those dealers that are watching, we will be making a new price sheet here very soon with all the new products
Brandon.
coming out and their prices.
Still, Brandon, stop being shy.
Yeah,
Brandon's not here.
see the
I
back
don't
of
see
his
Brandon
head,
in
yeah.
here. Where's
You can see
Brandon?
the
at?
back of his head.
you can see the back.
And
of his
that's
That's a nice move back of the
that's
head.
a gift because he just never.
Only upset my
He would
kid.
just ignore.
head. You know what's really a
show.
gift when you see Brandon's legs,
Oh,
No,
because you
No,
never
no,
see
don't do it.
see Brandon's
Ah.
legs.
No.
You're
I've
you'll
seen
be-
him twice.
You'll be blinded.
seen
I
him
think
twice.
I've known Brandon for 15 years.
God, it's probably been more than that.
More than
I've
that,
known him for
20
20,
years?
20 years. I've known Brandon, and I've
So
seen his legs
maybe
twice.
a little shy
I've seen it once.
of
Two
Jake,
times,
and
yeah.
I have never seen your legs.
I've seen him
Right.
once.
Yeah.
They're as
Or
white as
at
Peyton.
Rob's house.
So,
Dang.
12-inch with a 4-inch coil. The team version 3 will be available in 12s, and
Yep.
I don't really have a timeline on that because, again, it's a super niche product like the new SPL. So I'm concentrating on the more volume products first.
We had the Team Neo. We were able to make that into a 12
Yeah,
back when
yeah.
we were making those. If you can get your hands on a Team Neo motor, we can build you up a recon kit for it.
Yep.
If you desire a 12 with a 4-inch coil, and don't feel
I would, honestly, if it was me at this point, I would just use like a Nightshade.
exactly. That's what I
Yeah.
tell a lot of people. Because we get people that call and ask for the biggest and baddest woofer. They ask about the Team series,
I really hate
and-
that question.
and they're,
What's up, Drew?
It's a very situational question. But
Yeah.
I usually tell people if they were so inclined to get a Team woofer, that the Nightshade should do the job just fine.
I was talking to Nathan Munson about this a lot because he's kind of an old school guy, and he's like, I don't understand why everybody's obsessed with dumping power on subs when you don't have to.
Right.
You know, when you go to a 4-inch coil, there's no reason to do it unless you just want to dump that much power on it. A lot of the times you'll see our 3-inch coil subs, you put less power on them, you get the same numbers that you would get.
Well, you get a lot of people that have 3-inch coil drivers. They've been through a bunch of them. They keep blowing them. They're like, oh, well, I guess I need a 4-inch
like
coil.
the
Now,
U's actually
Drew?
perform better when you.
Drew, for you, Drew, because you're the guy that wants to dump all the power, so you should probably go with the team V3.
Yep.
So should I do Nightshade?
What's up, Drew? I hope you're doing all right. If you guys watched the last few shows that we had, episodes, you'll see Drew was just hanging out in the room.
So Marcos, yes, the Team V3 is in the works. I actually have had a prototype for quite some time, but we had to sell through the ferrite version 2s, and and I wanted to get other things sorted out, like because we're going to build it here. It's going to be based on the Saint topology, like the NSV4.
I assume we're going to switch it to similar topology to the NSV5 now.
Yeah,
with the cooling crap inside.
Yeah, with the shorting ring going all the way down and stuff. Yeah. So
why do people copy Sundown?
Because have good ideas, man.
Is that a question here?
You look up Sundown and other brands pop up first before Sundown. Why is that?
That would be
because they're paying for it.
Yeah, that's
a shame.
Was it SEO? Was what they pay for through Google or wherever. And it takes a lot of money to do that.
We don't spend any money on search engine. We don't do it.
I actually talked to a shop today that name dropped Drew, and I was like, "Oh, you name dropped Drew? That will get you nowhere." I'm just joking, Drew.
You what?
So that'll get you nowhere.
Name drop?
Yeah.
No,
I know Drew. Like I know Drew Jones.
I know Drew Jones.
Oh,
yeah, people try.
I know you.
People try to buy direct by name dropping.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Love you.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and just end this here. I want to thank everybody that did the super chats today. Thank everybody that supported us. Again, I'm going to run through these names real quick of the supporters that helped us get the studio back up and running. That was Audio Apex, SPO Audio, which is Corey Dean, Vex Pro, Mega Sound, DJ Rusticles, 252 Customs, Basshead Tees, Charles Haley, Patrick Hammer, and Kendra Holly. Thank you very much.
Sundown Audio.
And Sundown Audio, of course. You guys have a wonderful evening. Oh, thank you, Mr. Bassaholic, Drew Jones. Thank you, sir.
That's 2